Hello, my fellow garden gals and guys. Welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden in a zone 5A, formerly a 4B, just north of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So a couple things I want to show you at the end of May here. I have some alliums that just started opening. They're not all open yet. There's a variety down here called Ostara that's just starting to open. These are the short ones I put towards the front of the border. So I'll show you those next week. Here is a pink Sonic Bloom Weigela that is just covered in buds. It is going to be spectacular, and I'll show you that next week as well. So here are the Atlas Alliums that I planted last year, or actually the year before. They are gorgeous. They're the first ones to open really big like this. I have several on this side of the bed, so I wanted to make sure I showed you this before they fizzle out. And they usually last a few weeks. You could see that the foliage yellows a bit, which is normal. Now here are my Glow Masters, so they're just starting to open. So they're about a good week behind the Atlas Alliums, but these will get really big as well. Look at these, my blue junipers right next to the golden Spirit Smokebush. It just pops from a mile away. It's a gorgeous shrub. Here's some Artemisia down here next to the lamb's ear. It's bright white, just really pops as well against that brown mulch. I love this plant. And we'll just kind of go down the line here. That's a purple sensation allium. Only one came back this year. Those are just okay to me. We have these silver mound artemisias here. They look like little clouds. They look great in the spring. They can sometimes get a little leggy in the summer, but I'm going to try to give them the Chelsea chop this year, so we'll see what happens. Going down the line here, we have Columbine that's, gosh, on the third week of blooming. This plant goes really strong. It's kind of in a shady situation here, under some maples, which is a hard situation as well. So it's a very tough plant. I love Columbines for the spring. Let me take you through the side yard here. I'll just stop at a few things that are kind of catching my eye right now. Too bad it's not an overcast day, but there's some light that kind of washes everything out. So the side yard is looking pretty good. We got some rock garden plants on the right and some moss, and on the left we have some large hydrangeas. There is a plant I want to show you here that's just gorgeous this time of year. It is a ground cover and it is gold lamium. Look at these like powdery pink blossoms on it. It's so pretty. Second year on this. So it should spread a bit more. Really happy with that plant. We got some creeping fox that's just starting to bloom over here, right next to the yarrow. Yeah, I'm just really happy with how everything's just filling in. Look at these gold dancing Queen Hostas. I can't say enough about Dancing Queen. I know I talk about them all the time, but they are just spectacular. They're so bright gold. And I'll probably stop at a few more plants next week that will look a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, nothing was here like 3 or 4 years ago. So everything is finally filling in. Look at all these hostas. We got some lamium ground cover. I'll stop at a couple hostas that are really pretty, but I will do a proper tour for hostas in a few weeks. Just to kind of scan the property here, we used to have a ton of buckthorn that we removed. So those are some aspen trees in the back, and then it's mostly wetlands behind those aspens. So I just kind of did a border in front of the aspens. And here's the hosta garden that's just kind of filling in here. A lot of these are finally on year 3. Let me show you these two over here. Actually, there's three I want to show you. So right next to this Ajuga that's really popping right now, we have the big one is Humpback Whale. That can get up to 7 feet across. And this one is Vernooij. It almost looks like Autumn Frost, but it's not. Very pretty. And this is Rainbow's End. It's one of the first to pop out of the ground for the year. Loving those three plants. And like I said, that Ajuga is just really popping this time of year. Love it. Kind of go down the line here. Kind of showed you everything last week that looked really good. We're still waiting on like the Astilbe, and coneflowers will pop after that. We have some elderberry in the far back. So everything's just kind of growing in. This is one of my favorite hostas here as well. This is Orange Marmalade. One of the last hostas to pop out of the ground in the spring. Got a Astilbe, more Ajuga. Everything's just looking so fresh, and it's been raining a ton, so it's just great. Let me show you this plant here. This is an Ivory Halo Dogwood. Isn't it gorgeous? The variegation on the leaves are just, it's just so pretty, and the stems get like bright red in the fall and winter. Here's another really cool hosta. It is stained glass, one of my favorites. I just love that pop of gold in all this green. So I kind of showed you a lot of things over here last week. Let me see what's blooming this week. We have the Monet Weigela here. Isn't it gorgeous with the pink blossoms? I got this on clearance last year, so I haven't seen it bloom yet. I love it. It's just surrounded by Ajuga. We have some cats or Nepeta here, catmint. That's a Sun King Aralia, and then this is a Baptisia. So just getting bigger and will bloom soon. So I'll show you that next week. Show you a couple of these on the border. This is Coreopsis. It reseeded from last year and it really spread. So very pretty. It will be really full this year. And this is Brocade Artemisia. I love that white. It really pops from afar. We have Penstemon in back. And I kind of showed you guys this last week too. A lot of the gold spireas I have. And just in front of the cut flower garden, which I haven't planted yet, but I will be doing that soon. We are going to have tons of zinnias back there this year. This side's looking pretty good. Nothing really new on this side yet, but stay tuned. So I'm going to make 4 rows of zinnias here. 4 really long rows this year because they really attract the pollinators, and I'll probably cover all the leaves with grass clippings once it's planted next week. Let me show you this plant here. This is a neon burst dogwood, so pretty, and what's blooming right now is, this is string theory. I'll put it on the screen for you. I cannot recall at the moment. String theory, oh, Amsonia. And then we have one last bed I want to show you. We have a proven winners, like mini petunias in there, but there's some really cool sedums on the ground here. The Columbine is really shining right now. Check that out. And one last plant is a Spearmint Heuchera. So that's pretty much all I have for this week. Happy gardening, you guys, and I'll see you next week with some more blooms.